Hello my friends, my name is Dragonheart the Prince of Wales and welcome to my channel. In today's video we will be looking at my entire PlayStation 5 collection. As you can see on the TV right now, I am currently installing Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've played the game before already and I'm trying to get the Platinum, so that's currently what I'm doing with my setup. And above you'll see I have the PlayStation camera there as well. This was a gift from my wife that she bought for me last year for Christmas. If we scroll down, you will see the PlayStation 5 in all its glory. This is with the Starlight Blue custom covers. And you'll see that I also have, if I go in a bit closer over here, the retro PlayStation sticker on the inside. Also inside the PlayStation 5, I have my 2TB SSD. It's a Western Digital SSD that I installed a few months back as well. And I have a red controller by here as well. This is the, I think it's called Magma Red. It looks quite pinky in colour, but if you put it next to the actual pink controller, you'll see that that's actually red, although it can be quite deceiving. I had this controller with the bundle when I first had my PlayStation 5 back in September of last year. But now we're going to look at the rest of my PlayStation 5 collection, which we have here. I'm in my living room right now. It's like a little PlayStation shrine that I have in the corner of the room. We'll start from left to right. So we have my headset by here. And this is my SteelSeries headset by here, which is a lovely wireless headset, but it also has a wired connection as well, which is great. I play quite a lot of Apex Legends with my friends, and I use it wired on my phone or tablet so I can use Discord, so it's quite handy for that. I have my white PlayStation controller in by here, and I also have the Starlight Blue controller to match the console itself by here. Now we're going to move on to this that I have here. Basically, long story short, I have two cats and they've ripped the wallpaper behind on my wall. So, because I'm quite lazy and I haven't got around to actually sorting that out yet, I have decided to instead put like a little bit of a PlayStation shrine up by here. Nice little picture that's framed with all the different consoles that I've owned and many people have owned around the world in the years gone by, just to sort of cover that rip that's there. And then finally we have our games by here. So we're going to go from left to right now. I have put them in a kind of an alphabetical order. They're basically on two stands. I have two PlayStation 5 stands that I bought from Etsy. Starting by here, we have A Plague Tale: Innocence. And this, I must say, was a fantastic game to play. I really thoroughly enjoyed playing this game. It is such a good story. I'm looking forward to the next game, A Plague Tale Requiem, when that comes out. I bought this game in a 3 for 2 bundle from Game, which is a store in the UK. And yeah, it's quite a short game. It's like 12 hours or something like that. But I would wholeheartedly recommend this game. It is fantastic. Next up, we have Alan Wake. This was bought in the same bundle that I bought Plague Tale Innocence in. And I haven't played it yet. Looks good. It's in my backlog to play. It's remastered from, I think, PS3 days, wasn't it? So should hopefully be good. That's something I'm looking forward to playing when I get a chance in the future. Next up, we have Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I actually played this on PS4 when it first came out, and I was probably a little bit disappointed with it. I didn't really have much time to play the game, and I ended up selling it and getting most of my money back when it first came out. But then, when I finally got a PS5, I was looking for cheap PS5 games to get, and this was in a sale. It was super cheap on PS5 at the time. I think it was like £15 or something. At a time when the game was still being sold brand new for like 40 or 50, I think. So I was like, right, I'm going to pick it up £15. I can't remember where I got it from, but for the price I paid, that's really good. I do plan to go back and play it, and I think it's a sort of game that I can vibe and just sort of play and pick up for a couple of hours, do a few missions, and put it down, and then do the same thing like a week or so later. So that's what I'm going to do with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Next up, we have Control Ultimate Edition. I haven't played this game yet. I actually didn't pay a penny for this game. I had a load of game reward points on my Game Elite reward card after I bought the PlayStation 5. And I had enough to basically get the docking station, which you'll see by there. So I had the docking station for nothing, and I also had Control Ultimate Edition for nothing as well, PS5. Haven't played it yet. I'm looking forward to playing it. I'm probably going to go and try and get Platinum as well with this game when I do play it eventually, so that's something in my backlog as well. Next up, and this is a recent addition to my collection, and that's Far Cry 6. I've played Far Cry 2 on PlayStation 3. I haven't played Far Cry 3. I've played Far Cry 4 on PS4. I've played Far Cry 5 and Far Cry New Dawn on PC with my friend Mike. And I haven't played 6 yet. But I bought this last week. Super cheap in a sale. It was like, I think it was like 12 quid or something. It just was super cheap. I was like, yep, I'm getting that. So yeah, looking forward to playing it. Should be good. I'm not sure what the reviews are like with it. I think it's quite mixed. But again, it's for a cheap game to bolster my collection and a game that I'm going to play. Can't argue with that, so I'm happy with that. Next up, we have Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. I can't say much about this game because it's not actually my game. It belongs to my wife. It's one of a couple of games that she owns in this collection. So I can't really say too much. I've never really been into the Final Fantasy game genre that much. She's a massive fan of the series. I did play a little bit of 15 with her a few years back. And I also played a little bit of 10 many years ago on PS2, I believe, that I borrowed from her when we first started going out with each other. But I haven't really played any of the games apart from those two. But like I said, she's a massive fan. It's her game. And I can't really say much more about that. Part that's in my collection. But speaking of a game that is in my collection I love, and that is Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. Now I actually own this on PS4, but I got the platinum on PS4, loved it, played it. I want to play the DLC and I want to replay the game again, and I wanted to replay it on the PS5 version with all the bells and whistles and everything. I got this cheaply on eBay, and I'm basically selling my PS4 version. So yeah, that's my thing. But yeah, looking forward to this. This should be a great experience to replay yet again. But it's one of my favourite games of all time. I think it's up there with some of the best games I've ever played. Next up, Immortals Phoenix Rising. This was the third game in that 3 for 2 bundle that I mentioned earlier. I got this from game along with Alan Wake and Plague Tale. Haven't played it yet. It's a Ubisoft open world game. A lot of people are saying it's a lot like Breath of the Wild. That should be good because I quite like Legend of Zelda, although I haven't played the Legend of Zelda games for quite a few years, so this should be good. I like gods and monsters and open world games and stuff, so it's right up my alley, it is, so looking forward to playing it. Next up is Life is Strange True Colors. I played the original Life is Strange when that came out many years ago with Max Caulfield. I also played a little bit of Life is Strange 2 on PC. I didn't think much of that game, if I'm being honest, but this one I've played, finished and platinumed quite recently. I wholeheartedly recommend Life is Strange True Colors if you're into click, turn-based, narrative, story-driven games. You know, the Telltale type of games. That's quite a mouthful of tease, but if you like Telltale games, like story, narrative-driven games, it's really good. The story's really interesting as well. I obviously won't spoil it here, but I would recommend going out and getting it. I got this game quite cheaply as well. I think I got this from Game in the pre-owned section. I think I paid like 15 quid or something. So if you can get it for around 15 quid or 20 quid, something like that, it's definitely worth it. And finally, for this first pod, this is the 10th game in this first pod, she's a man-eater. Had to just get that awkward quote in there from that song. But yeah, Man-Eater on PS5. It's a good game. It is a game about sharks. Interesting fact about my copy of Man-Eater. It's all in German. Du bist der Herr. Long story short is that I bought this game from Amazon. It was super cheap. It was like £10, I think. It was £11, something like that. And then I think I accidentally realised I bought it from like seller rather than directly from Amazon. So I had like the German version, but it's fine. Game is very short. It's like 10 hours, I think the game was. And it's quite repetitive after a while, to be honest. You're a shark. It has got a story there. The story is very, very poor, I guess, depending on your point of view. Basically, if you're looking for a bit of mindless fun, it's a pretty good game. But it's not like going to win any awards or anything, put it that way. But yeah, it's a game. It's definitely a game. And then we move on to the final pod. Final few games. Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I love this game. Again, I had this in a sale. Most of my games have been in sale. I've tried to wait for games to come cheaper because gaming can be quite expensive. I got this in a Black Friday sale, and I also had points on my game rewards, so I got it right down to like 20 quid when it was still retailing at like 50. So I had like 30 quid off it, so I was quite happy with that. Great game. Disappointed that I haven't got the platinum on this game yet. I've missed out on 3 trophies. The collectibles and the way they're tracked are quite annoying in this game, so that kind of pissed me off. But apart from that, the story is fantastic, and if you're a fan of Marvel or Guardians of the Galaxy, I would definitely recommend. Next up, we have the game that I'm installing right now, and that's Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales. This game came with my copy of the PS5. It came in my bundle. Played the game, finished it. Very short game, I think it was like 12 hours or something. I just rushed through, did the story and everything. I want to get the platinum, that's why I'm reinstalling the game. My friend recently gave this game back to me because he borrowed it off me. This is why I like getting physical games, because I like to have a nice physical collection. With digital games, I feel like I'm worried that in the future they may actually, the license might expire or they might remove it. Something happened recently with Ubisoft Online with Assassin's Creed Liberation, and that's kind of one of my fears with physical and digital sort of things. That's why I wanted the disc version of the PS5. But yeah, the game itself is great. I'm looking forward to playing this again and trying to get that platinum trophy. So that is Miles Morales. And next up, if I can just reach over by here, Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. I am a massive Star Wars nerd, which you'll see in a moment with the next couple of games. And I'm looking forward to future Star Wars games coming out on this generation of consoles. I'm a massive fan of Lego Star Wars. I played the original Lego Star Wars games many years ago on I think it was my original Xbox. The OG Xbox when I used to own that. That was good fun. I haven't played too much of this game yet. This is like my long-term game. I play a lot of short-term games every few weeks or so, and then I'll come back and sort of play this game, and I'll finish off a few levels, or I'll do like Empire Strikes Back and then Return of the Jedi or something like that. So it's going to be like my long-term game throughout the year probably, but it's such a good game so far. I like the mechanics they've implemented. I love the features. There's a lot of different characters. It's insane. It's like the definitive version of Lego Star Wars. So yeah, it's really, really good. Keeping with the Star Wars theme, and we have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. And this game is pretty damn cool. I enjoyed the story of this game. I love Cal Kestis' arc in this story. I like how he's... I don't want to spoil it, obviously, but I like his arc, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone in case they haven't played this game, but it's very much in the Star Wars theme of farm boy becomes hero type thing and goes through many trials and tribulations. It certainly plays with a lot of the themes you see in the movies quite well. And it works quite nicely. The lore of the worlds and the planets and the stuff you're on is interesting. I'm particularly interested in one of the races in the game called the Zepho. I won't go into much more detail, but I quite like the lore that they've established with them. And I'm looking forward to the new game when that comes out. That's due out in 2023. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I'm definitely going to be picking that up as well. So, yep, recommend this wholeheartedly. I bought this for like 16 quid. I think I got it from Argos. I noticed in a sale. I was like, yep, I'm picking that up and playing it. So, that's that there. Next up, Rugby 2022. So, it's a rugby game. I like sport. I like football. I like rugby. I don't really play this game much, to be honest with you. Mainly my nephew, my 10-year-old nephew, when he comes to visit, he loves rugby, so he plays this when he comes over. There's not much else to say. It's a rugby game. It's got some licenses, which is quite cool. The gameplay is very last gen, I gotta be honest with you. This is arguably the worst game in my collection that I've played so far. But yeah, I can't really say much about that. There's not really been many good rugby games, if I'm being totally honest with you. They haven't made a good rugby game in years. And then finally, this was like probably the biggest surprise package out of all of my games, and that is the Pathless. This was an absolute pleasure to play. I bought this off eBay for £10 off someone, not really expecting much, and I was blown away by the game. The gameplay is interesting, it's quite intricate. I got the platinum, so I'm really super chuffed that I got that. It's made by Annapurna Studios, if I could just zoom in and get the focus. There we go, Annapurna and Giant Squid. Annapurna are the company that are working on Stray, which is coming out recently. I'm recording this just before Stray comes out, by the way, in case you're wondering. But the game is great. It's quite mystical in a lot of ways. The music in the game is great. It reminds me a little bit of Lord of the Rings. That's kind of weird and strange to say, but like the whole Dark Lord Sauron thing in Lord of the Rings and all the different towers of like Mordor and all that kind of stuff is kind of referenced a little bit in this game in a sense. You can tell that they sort of borrow a lot of different ideas, but the game is really good. I would wholeheartedly recommend playing the Pathless. It's not a very long game. I think it's like 12 to 15 hours or so, and that's to get the Platinum as well. The Platinum isn't too difficult to get, but I think you will thoroughly enjoy this game, so I definitely recommend it. So that's all of the PS5 games. I do actually have a couple more games by here. You've got Star Wars Jedi Knight Collection. Basically, that's downstairs by here. It's not upstairs with my PS4 games because I bought it recently and I had a couple of slots free on my pod, so I've just got that. They're sitting there. And finally, I've got Tales of Arise, which is my wife's game on PS4, but because Tales of Arise, basically it's got a PS5 free upgrade, so you can play that and it works quite nicely. And there we have it, guys. That is my collection of games for the PlayStation 5. I hope you've all enjoyed this video. I've been Dragonheart. Until next time, goodbye.